Hi, it's me, it's Craig Stevens. And let's go back to the Westbrook Stevens website, and this time let's talk about communicating. We're going to look at the barriers to effective interpersonal communication. So how to get there. Go to westbrookstevens.com/communicating.htm. Now here is more of the makeup class, and we're going to look at communicating, and we're going to look at specifically related to barriers and maybe how to fix some of these barriers. And we're going to talk about the slides that are on the screen at westbrookstevens.communicating.htm. The first slide you see is titled Barriers to Effective Interpersonal Communications. Now, there's four different places with four different bullets, and in each of those bullets we're going to expand on. First one is distractions and noise. Sometimes distractions and noise comes in all kinds of ways. Some of the noise comes from your head. You're thinking about other things, you're distracted, and some comes from the environment, and some comes from the way people come across and the way you come across. So there's all kinds of different definitions for distractions and noise. Let's see, I'm going to look down just a little bit, and we're going to expand on each of these four. So I think I'm expanding too soon. Let's go to the next slide, and then it talks about there's both external, internal, that's the point I was trying to make. There's audible and visual environmental distractions. Sometimes the most distracting thing you can do is have a little screen in the background right here that's flashing different colors and doing different things. That's my computer screen. And I remember when the screensaver first was invented, and there are so many little cool things related to the screensaver. You could sit and watch this stuff, and every time you go in somebody's office, they always turn around after working on the computer, and their screensaver starts flashing different things. And back when they first started, anything would get your attention. There would be pipes going different directions, there would be fish, there would be Star Trek, all kinds of things. So that's a visual, external environment noise to your communication. Lack of concentration. And it has ADD. Well, lack of concentration's been around long before that diagnostics, long before they knew there was ADD. And see, it's affecting me. Okay, so the next one is physical distress, fatigue, or overload. When I was in ROTC, we did survival training, and I used to teach survival training. And part of the fatigue and overload's a good thing, but that's not when you teach. That's when you go into practice. That's when you look for something new. That's a good teaching experience. I don't want to say it's not, but at the same time, you're not going to learn new things, and you're not going to be able to concentrate on new things and get finer details if you're under fatigue, distress, or overload. And so if you're trying to communicate in complicated environments, then you might want to ensure that people are getting enough sleep and not overworked, or they're not going to hear what you have to say. Many other individual characteristics. Well, we'll just leave it at that. The next one is what you perceive, the perceptual framework in which you put something in, and then semantics, just how things are said and what words are used. And this is interesting. So misinterpretation between sender and receiver due to the fact that no two people interpret the symbols or codings of messages and meanings of words or phrases in exactly the same way. Now that's a lot to say in one sentence, but what we're saying is that for one of the first big conflicts I remember having as a program manager was I had a project manager who was an industrial engineer, a project manager who was a chemical engineer, a project manager who was an IT person, and we were all trying to get something done. And so when I used the word systems, what did the chemical engineer think? Well, he thought about chemicals and materials flowing through pipes somewhere. When I said it to use the same word for industrial engineer, they're thinking about how people work into the environment and how they would be turning those knobs and how other things would be happening. So their systems, they're thinking of systems as the interrelationships between people and processes. When I use the word systems for a computer person, what are they thinking of? Well, they're thinking of the IT environment. They're thinking of software and hardware and how it all works together. And it was very confusing. The first thing I had to do is just explain and define the terms that we were using. All right. Now, status and rank differences. Ooh, that can often be a barrier to effective interpersonal relationships, because often there should be a degree of honor and degree of respect for somebody who is senior to you, but at the same time, the senior person can come across as arrogant if they don't know how to handle this, and that's a sign of an immature leader. I remember my pastor was telling this story that went to a large church, and the senior pastor there was wanting to talk to the senior pastor of our church, and the staff was getting in the way. He saw the staff as unimportant. A lot of times, organizations in different cultures will see a pecking order in the chain of command. Now, the chain of command works well for simple environments and for highly structured environments, regulated environments, but it really does not work well when you have knowledge workers who may have more knowledge than the senior person. And in most organizations, that's where we are going. The people who are working for you probably have more knowledge, or will have more knowledge, more technical environment, have more knowledge than the people actually managing them. And if you think about it, once the manager progresses to the next level and keeps progressing to the next level, pretty soon it's been a long time since they ever did that work. So that could be one barrier that you need to overcome. Let's see. Now, prejudgment of messages worth. Now, I've seen this a lot. I grew up, and I've always looked 10 years younger than what I am. And sometimes people will judge that based on your age. And now it's probably the reverse. The younger generation of people see the older generation of people as not having the same experience needed for the future. The older generation see the younger generation as not having the degree of maturity, and so there's already a prejudgment on the message's worth just by age. And you can do this. You can look at the same things related to race. You look at the same things related to where that person is in the community. You know, senior, junior level, all kinds of things.